Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to the newest episode of the Idle Musings of the Nerd Mind podcast. Did you like that? That's my new intro. That's
You
my
got
new intro.
it. You totally got it.
Are
Very
you
good.
sure? Are you sure? Should
You
I try
nailed
again?
it.
All right.
You
Let me try
you
again.
nailed it.
We're live. We're live, guys. We are the live
No, I know.
podcast. This is why we do this. This is why we do this. We are live. We're off to a good start today, guys. We're off to a
Let's
great
go.
start. So
Let's get it.
thank you so much for everybody that is tuning in to us live here on the various social media platforms that we're going to be using. And then, of course, for those of you who are listening to the audio podcast, welcome. Definitely, if you want to see the video version of this, please tune in to us over at Facebook and Twitter every Tuesday night when we broadcast live. But if not, we welcome you too. If you're listening to us in the car, if you're listening to us on your run, why are you running when you have a car? I don't know. We just need to make sure that we want to thank you guys. Of course, my name is Matt Reifschneider. I'm one of your lovely co-hosts for the Idle Musings podcast. And joining with me, I guess the videos are in different orders this time. So I'm going to point over to this way. And I have this lovely lady over here. And you are...
Hey, I'm Stephanie. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah, welcome back, Stephanie. And then, of course, we have this gentleman down here.
I don't know.
No, you don't know?
I don't know.
Man,
I just want to say hello. Hello. Everyone.
yeah. And as the joke continues to run, your name is Storm78704.
Yeah. And,
You're obviously a droid.
Chris going to start calling me Storm.
Right. Storm. Yeah. You can see me on Twitter as well as Instagram. And there you go. Talk to me. I want to talk to you. Let's talk. So
Let's talk. Let's talk. That's
Or
an invitation to talk if I've ever heard one.
Argue with me.
Argue with
Let's
you? No,
do
I'm not going to
it.
argue with you. I spend most of my time on social media arguing.
The audience, not you.
No, well, if you say enough fun things, they're guaranteed to argue with you. So,
right, well, bring it. Bring it.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Richard, for joining me today as we chat once again about some of the musings that we've had during the week throughout it. But why don't we just get started? Drop some things. What have you guys been watching this week? What have you guys been reading? What have you guys been playing?
Me. Okay, so as you can see, I have a nice sultry voice because I've been sick. So I've been doing a lot of binge watching. I have binge watched Yellow Jackets, which is phenomenal, awesome. You need to watch it. And I am a super sucker for gang stuff. So I watched the latest season of Top Boy on Netflix. Dude, I was in tears by the end of it. So good. So good.
Wow.
All right, which one's better? Yellow Jackets or Top Boy?
Oh, man, that's really hard. I mean, I'm on season 4 of Top Boy, dude. I mean, Jamaican gangsters in England? Who doesn't like that?
Okay. So, and both of these shows are ones that were Yellow Jackets is on Showtime, Top Boy's Netflix, right? But
yes.
It was originally
Yellow Jackets is on Showtime, and I can't believe I hopped on so late onto this train, but I'm in.
It's a good train. So why don't you tell our audience what is Yellow Jackets about and what is Top Boy about? Make them see if they want to watch it.
All right. Yellow Jackets is about a girls' soccer team, high school soccer team, They are on their way to a competition and their plane crashes and they
Yeah.
are stuck in the Rockies for almost 2 years. So this is the story of what happens to them in that 2 years. And it's
Yeah.
also a simultaneous timeline of the time they were in the forest and present day.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
it's
I
super
didn't know that.
cool. It's awesome. Like wild shit happens that you definitely don't even expect. And yeah, I'm in. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, if only it
Okay.
wasn't left on such a cliffhanger at the end for
It was-
season 2.
Oh
So
yeah, dude. I don't even season two's gonna be wild. I don't
yeah,
even know how
Y'all are
they're gonna
gonna be
navigate that.
excited. Y'all
yeah,
y'all are
you got a
excited.
budget. Yeah, I'm
So
gonna have to lend
excited.
you. I'm gonna have to lend you my copy of Yellow Jacket so you can watch it, Richard, so that
Oh,
we can
you
get in.
actually?
Have to watch it.
Oh,
And
shit!
Juliette Lewis, oh dude, she's in it. She's amazing. I
Christina
love you,
Ricci.
Juliette. Girl, what's up?
Christina Ricci too, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
Christina Ricci as Misty.
Hmm.
She crazy. I love it though.
she's crazy.
She
And then
I
crazy.
feel.
Top boy, Steph, like talk to me,
What's
Top Boy.
that? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I love Top Boy. It started as Top Boy Summer House, so that's season 1 and 2, and then season 3 and 4 is just Top Boy. Like I said, it's about the Jamaican community in England, and it's about Jamaican gangs in England, and it's it's so cool, dude. So all the cast is people of color. I think maybe
Okay.
throughout the whole series, you see maybe 2 or 3 white people. So it's like, it's awesome just supporting them. And the
Yeah.
acting's great. The main guy is a rapper, I believe. He honestly looks like Anthony Mackie, but he is phenomenal, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just basically, dude, they have everybody. Like, it's about real life too. One of the main characters has seizures and stuff, and how they
Wow.
navigate that, or how they navigate their family life. Like, one of the dudes is the primary caregiver to 2 of his younger brothers, and
Wow.
it's just, dude, that last episode, that last 30 seconds, I was done. I was done. So good.
Last 30 seconds. Well, both of those
It
shows sound
sounds
great, Steph.
amazing.
Yeah, they
Yeah, you
sound
guys need to
great.
check
So,
it out.
absolutely. Richard, what about you? What have you been doing this week?
You know me. I have to do research. So here we go. Werewolf by Night, 32, right
Ooh.
there. First appearance of Moon Knight.
Coming
Boom.
soon.
Coming to actually this Wednesday.
Yeah, this
It-
Oh
week.
yeah,
wow.
yes, this week, this Wednesday, it's on. I cannot wait because he's more like a part of the supernatural. But I mean, he's an Avenger and all this other stuff. But when he's solo, it's like I mean, because like a Egyptian god gave him powers, to do what he has to do, and he
As they
has
do.
like yeah, as they do. It's like,
Is this
hey, thanks
Yu-Gi-Oh?
for this.
Oh no.
What?
Is this Yu-Gi-Oh?
Darren and Jamie, we want you on the show.
Yes, please. Super fan.
Just saying, we love you boys. But so doing that and did a little research, I'm really excited. It's kind of crazy. My sister called me and she was just like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm reading Werewolf by Night, the first appearance of Moon Knight," and she's like, "Oh my god, I have to go. I have to go feed the kids. I gotta feed children. What is
Yeah,
it?"
she's like, I'd rather be with my kids than hear about Moon Knight.
Hey, I'm in love. I love Moon Knight. He's one of my favorites. And I went back and watched 2 things: Penny Dreadful, all 3 seasons, and Terminator: Sarah Connor Chronicles. Both amazing. I mean, but if I had to pick, it's always going to be Penny Dreadful. You know.
You guys are
I'm
such
just
TV
saying.
people. You guys are such TV people.
I have the Blu-rays. It's like I gotta sit down.
Character progression, Matt.
Oh my God, Hannibal! Don't even get me started. I have like all the seasons. I'm like, you're welcome.
You want to
That
talk about
money
TV? Let's
is
talk
yours.
about Hannibal.
I will say this: I watched this show with friends, and they didn't know right away. They're like, "Is that Hannibal Lecter?" I'm like, "Uh huh." And he like had this spread. It was gorgeous. They're like, "Oh my God, is that people?" I'm like, "Yeah, isn't it? It looks yummy." And they're just like, "Oh
Cannibalism is a very big trending thing nowadays, I feel
Yeah.
like.
So
my
much
God!"
things cannibalism.
I know.
Not
Okay,
to give
what?
away anything.
What? Right. No, everyone knows. It's Silence of the Lambs,
Yeah.
Hannibal the Cannibal.
Yeah.
We good. We good. Spoiler alert. We good.
I was laughing because like I finally got to see the new Batman. That was this past week.
Oh,
Finally got to, and of course
Oh, yeah.
it is heavily influenced by serial killer material and things like that. And then Matt Reeves released that new Joker footage that was
I
cut from the
saw
movie
it. I
online,
saw it.
and everybody
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, it's like Silence of the Lambs." And I kept like every time somebody would say that, I would comment on me like, "Do you mean Manhunter?" Just because that's the kind of
Oh no,
person
I
I am.
know. Yeah.
That's the kind of person I'm like. Manhunter is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Silence of the Lambs is great, but I am a Manhunter fan. So I'm
Michael
like,
Mann. He
well,
directed
yeah,
it. Michael
Michael
Mann.
Mann.
Yeah.
Michael Mann is my man, and
Right.
I'll stick by him. And he's got that new show coming out on HBO Max. Tokyo Vice that is coming out. I'm very
Nice.
excited for.
I'm
So
in.
Nice.
I know. Well, it's Michael Mann, right? Like,
I'm
even
in.
though he's been kind of hit or miss the last handful of years, but like,
Yeah.
I'm in. But I
Yeah.
just wanted to bring that up. We did get to see both Steph and I got to see the Batman this week. Have you seen the Batman yet, Richard? Have
I
you?
haven't seen it, but let's discuss it. I will go see it. It's just been kind of a crazy weekend. So,
Well, you know, yeah, same. I mean, we meant to go see it like weeks ago and just haven't have
right.
just finally gotten around to it. But I was a big fan of it. It is exactly kind of the Batman that I would like to see in terms
Detective?
of
More
oh,
of a
heavily,
detective?
Super
very
detective.
much. Yep,
See,
serial
that's.
killer, detective
Yeah.
noir. I mean,
Yeah.
he's even got a
Awesome.
voiceover like an old school noir film and
Nice.
stuff
I
like
feel
that.
like it
So
was an artsy fartsy Batman movie.
it totally is.
I,
I'm
you
not
know,
I'm not hating on it. My only complaint though is that it's fucking 3 hours, dude.
It's a butt number for
yeah,
sure.
no, people
Dude.
told me. But this is the second year he's Batman. So it's not year
Yeah,
one. This
it's
is
year
Mhm.
year
two.
two.
Mhm.
Yeah, he has a
And he's.
file that's like Gotham Project Year Two or Project Gotham
Yeah.
Year Two, and at the beginning. So
I'm
yeah,
like, get
second
to
year
year
Batman.
three. I want to see year three. There we go. I haven't
I'm
even
tired
seen
of
year
year
two.
one. I'm
I
tired of
haven't
year
seen it.
two. Third time's a charm, Batman. Third time's a charm.
It's true. It's Batman.
Let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's do it.
You actually have a great Batman voice right now, Steph. I just want to point that
Batman.
out. With your deep, sultry voice, you're just like Batman.
Matt, are you not telling us something? Is there
I'm Batman.
something we should know?
Yeah. I'm gonna need you to do this real quick. I'm gonna just saying.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, fine. I did want to put a spotlight on one other thing that I had a chance to watch this week, which is a movie called Spiritwalker. It is
That was so good.
South Korean action thriller
So
film
good.
about a guy who every 12 hours jumps bodies. Like his spirit gets
Whoa.
into another body, but it seems to be a select group of people, and it's him. So
Okay.
he has like amnesia from this event that has now created his like spirit to hop bodies every 12 hours, and it's literally him trying to piece together this like mystery and why people want to kill him, and
Yeah.
as he's like putting it together while jumping from bodies, it's a fun ride. The action is very John
All
Wickish,
right.
and
It's
I
so good.
totally game, loved it. It is available on Hiya streaming service right now.
Hiya.
Uh,
Hiya
what?
from Will Go USA. Oh yeah, Dude,
I
you
don't
gotta
know
send
about this.
hashtag
Help me.
not sponsored, but you guys all should sign up for Hayat. It's got some great Asian action movies on there, and Spiritwalker is coming to Blu-ray and stuff later on. But right now it is on it is over on Hayat streaming, and it's like
All right.
$4.99 a month. It's super cheap. Watch it for the Donnie Yen kung fu movies. It's worth it. But I just wanted to give a shout out to Spiritwalker because I know that that's going to be a film that has a little bit of a hill to climb. So if I can bring some attention to it, I would like to do so. So that's
Absolutely.
what I've been watching this week. Anything else you guys want to shout out?
I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
no.
I did my
Good?
shout outs.
You
Top Boy and Yellow Jackets.
That's all we need to shout out is Top Boys and Yellow Jackets.
so speaking of Michael Mann, the movie he does not want anyone to see, The Keep, a horror movie, and it has Ian McKellen in it, a very young Ian McKellen, and like all of these people who are stars now. The guy who's Stick in Daredevil. Oh my god, you see him in Daredevil and you see him back then. I'm like, where'd your chest go? Like what happened to everything? But it's a great movie. He hates it. Michael Mann hates The Keep. He doesn't want people to know that he did it. I own it. I fucking love it. It's kind of one of those niche, kind of things. But I love it. I saw that this weekend. I can't quit watching it. It's really good. Ian
That
McKellen.
movie's
Oh my
insane.
god.
You can't even
Have you
like make
seen it?
sense of
Have
it.
y'all seen it?
I haven't.
Oh my god.
I have
I
definitely
love
seen
that
it.
movie.
I did a Michael Mann marathon a couple of years ago. I watched all of his movies in a row chronologically, including The
Mhm.
Keep. I like The Keep. It's just a mess. I mean, it's obvious that like
It is.
he made a three and a
Yeah.
half hour horror movie and they
Yeah.
had to cut it down to an hour and a half. And so like it's so nonsensical. But I
It
will
is
tell you
not
that
good.
last 15 minutes is some visual wizardry if there's ever to be put out
It's
there.
80s. It is so fog and lights and just like everything. I'm like, oh my god, this is so 80s. And they
I
were
kind
like
of
doing backwards,
oh,
forward,
it's
with the film. I'm like,
so 80s. It's what 83 I think or something to that effect.
I think
Um
so. I
I
think
kind of
so.
forgot that was Scott Glenn in that who played Stick in Daredevil.
Yeah,
I
he's
forgot that was
Stick.
him. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
love
he's
Scott
like
Glenn.
the big buff guy.
Yeah.
So
Gotta love it.
uh,
Gotta love it.
the
Well,
Guardian.
I didn't expect somebody to mention The Keep as we were
Sorry,
talking about what we watched this week. That's what a random choice, Richard. I appreciate it though. I
I
appreciate
own it. I love it.
a nice deep cut like The Keep. I'm all about it. But
Yeah.
I do want to bring up kind of our first topic of the night, and I want to bring this up for you guys. But obviously, as we're recording this, the Oscars have just happened. And I don't know. We maybe our listeners watch the Oscars or anything. I'm a big, huge Oscar nerd myself. I'm not like weirdly enough this year I only saw 3 of the 10 nominated Best Pictures.
Well,
I kept
yeah.
trying, but I had so much other stuff to watch for work and things like that that I just couldn't get
Right.
kind of caught up on it. But guys, is this the wildest Oscars in a long, long time or what?
I would have to say yeah.
Absolutely, dude. It was very eventful.
It's never been seen before on TV. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
At the Oscars, I was like, damn. I thought it was fake.
I totally did too when it first happened. Yeah, bro.
So I assume you
Totally
guys are
did.
talking about the slap heard round world where we saw
Yes.
Will Smith
Yes.
decide to prove
What?
at one point that of
Big
course
Willie, man.
paper covers rock. And so that's I guess where we're at, right? It's hard not to talk about that. I mean, it's everywhere online right now. Everybody's
Right.
talking about it. The amount of the memes for Will Smith slapping Chris Rock have already infiltrated the
I know.
Godzilla groups on Facebook, which is a wild crossover.
Oh
So
my god. Well, and also he apologized. It just came out before we
Yeah.
did the show, but he apologized to Chris Rock. And look, I'm sorry, Denzel Washington comes up to you and go, You messed up. It's like this. I'm sorry.
Yo, Denzel
I'm so
Washington's
sorry,
the biggest
Dad.
G, dude. I love that man.
It's like, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm gonna go apologize. You know, he's everyone's
Yeah.
dad. So,
When Daddy
so I was
Denzel
like,
comes over to you and makes
yeah,
you
Daddy
apologize.
it's
Denzel.
over. It's over. Stop it.
That's fair. That's fair. What do you
But
think, Steph? Obviously, it's a big deal.
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
Are you guys ready for this?
Here, let me crack my knuckles. There we go. I'm ready.
There is a large part of me that understands why he did that.
yeah,
You know, it's not the first time Chris Rock has hosted the Oscars. It's not the first time he's made jokes about Jada. And quite frankly, Will's been taking a beating for years, you know, entanglement, this, that. They even made jokes about it earlier in the night. You know, it's a big night for him. He could win an Oscar. Like, it's huge. He's representing a whole group of people, not just himself, you know. And then, you know, when your emotions are high, tensions are high, you know, shit can happen.
you don't
With
think?
that being said, though,
Yeah,
obviously violence is never the answer. And
ever. Yeah,
unfortunately, I think when you're a person of color, you know, you have to do 10 times more. You know, you have to be better. You know, it's just, we don't have that privilege to act a fool. Like, we just don't.
to mess up.
We
To
don't.
mess
We
up.
can't
We
mess
don't
up.
have the
We can't
privilege.
trip up not one time. Not even
Not
a
even
slip
at
up.
work.
Nothing.
What? Nothing.
Nothing.
We cannot mess up. They're looking at us, and if we
Exactly.
mess up, they're like this. I gave you a chance. You know,
Exactly.
and I'm just like, anyway,
You know,
I've
you
talked to
know,
coworkers in the past. Anyway, I
yeah, it's
understand.
totally it. We don't have the opportunity to trip up, you know, because then they're going to use that against us,
Yeah, they
you know.
will.
And
Yes, they will.
as groundbreaking of a time as it is to have a black man, another, you know, win an Oscar or whatever, that could all be taken away with just one slip up, and this could have been that slip up, you know.
It kind of was a little
Yeah,
bit. They're
And
not
it's
talking about the Oscar he won. They're talking about him slapping Chris Rock.
even
exactly,
even
exactly,
he couldn't talk about the Oscar he won. He gets up, he wins this Oscar for Best Actor for his work in King Richard, and he gets up there, and his acceptance speech is mostly an apology speech. And this moment of triumph for him was completely undone by what happened 10 minutes earlier. And it was kind of heartbreaking in a way. Like Will Smith, I mean, King Richard was one of the films I did not get to see at this point. I
Oh
really
wow.
need to
Okay.
watch it on HBO Max, but
Yeah.
you know, he's deserved an Oscar before. I thought he deserved a good a good swing at it when it comes to Ali, and I you know, like,
Oh yeah.
and
Yes.
or Pursuit of Happiness, which, you know, I
That
mean,
too. With his
it,
son.
yep.
His
yeah,
son
and
in
so
it.
like it was kind of a bittersweet moment in a way that he ended up having to apologize throughout his entire you know, acceptance speech. I'm with Steph on this. Like, he made a huge mistake, and
I think
that
he did.
sucks. And it sucks for, because that's what people are going to remember. They're not going to remember he won. Every
Right.
time that we mentioned, oh yeah, Will Smith won an Oscar, it was right after he slapped somebody. They're just going to be, they're going to go like, yeah, you know, they're just going to go right.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah,
pardon the
They're
phrase,
gonna
hand
go
in hand.
there.
So,
it's true.
and
I
it's,
was shocked. I mean, I don't know. Look, it's like most of the black people in Hollywood, they kind of stay close to each other, you know, or like people of color. It's not just black. It's like Latino, everybody. They stick close to each other and they lift each other up. And I thought it was fake at first, and then he sat down, and then he started trash talking, saying the F word, you know, and I'm like, oh shit, this happened.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my god, this fucking just happened. It's like, what is going on here? I never would have thought he would have did something like that, you know. And I know that's why Daddy Denzel went over there. He goes, okay, I'm gonna tell you something.
Ah,
Come here. come here, stand in the corner, and I'm going to talk to you. You know, that was. I'm really surprised. I'm just really surprised. I can't believe I saw that. You know, on TV. And like you said, Steph, it's like you know, people of color when they fuck up or mess up like this, they're gonna
Yep.
get it. I feel 10 times worse than you know if you know a Caucasian people would have did it. Now they're looking at Will Smith and like, but how
Yep.
are they looking at him? That's what
Yep.
I'm worried about. And Jada Pinkett, I get it. Oh my God, she has hair. Is it
Alopecia.
yeah,
Yeah.
and did he not know? Did Chris Rock not
I
know?
don't think he knew because after he got slapped, he was like, "Bro, it's a GI Jane joke." You know, I feel like if he knew,
Right.
he would have like been like, "Oh snap!" And to be fair, I didn't know she had alopecia either. I just thought it was
She's
a
been,
harmless GI Jane joke, and I love
yeah,
GI Jane. So
but she's been putting it out there a little bit because what show is she?
the Red
Is she
Table
on
Talk,
HBO? Yeah, she's been kind of putting it out there.
yeah,
She's like, this is what I have and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I thought Chris Rock would have known, because the people of color all together. Um, but I guess maybe he didn't. But it's still a joke. I mean, he could have went up to her afterwards. Will Smith could have just went like this, dude. Go talk to my wife, right?
Mhm.
Go apologize. Cause look at her face. Rewind that film. Look at her face.
yeah.
That's all that had to happen. Him getting up there and slapping somebody. I mean, I get it, but just because you're right, it doesn't mean you should do something like that because
Right.
you do something like that, automatically you're wrong.
And
Yeah.
You're the one who fucked up.
I
I'm
also feel
sorry,
like
but
we live in scary times where like everybody uses their emotions getting out of control as a way to justify violence or justify things, and it's like your emotions shouldn't control you. You control your emotions. You know?
exactly. But
Yeah.
I want to say something, Stephanie. Not everybody has had the same parenting, and some people don't have that, or they were not taught that. I'm lucky my dad got me because I was this angry little, black kid out of the foster care system. And even I, like, when people come up to me and say, just egging me on, I have to leave.
Yeah.
Because if I allow myself to do it, I know who I can be, but I'm
Yep.
not that person. So I just leave. I go, you know what? Y'all have a good time. We'll talk about this later. I'm
I
like, I'm out of here.
I think that's what makes me empathize with Will Smith even more because he
Yeah,
didn't have a picture
yeah,
perfect childhood. You know, I didn't have a picture perfect childhood. You know, that wasn't a lesson that my parents taught me. That's
right.
a lesson I had to learn the hard
Thank
way.
you.
You
Yeah,
know, like because like you said, you know, as a Latina woman, you know, I can very easily get typecasted. You know, I'm not allowed to get
yeah.
angry. I'm not allowed to raise my voice. I'm not allowed to do any of that. You know,
Yes,
and
that.
so I feel that, and I feel like, you know, do I have the capabilities of coming out of my face? Absolutely. But I don't I don't have that privilege, you know what I mean? Like I can. It's something I always
Yeah,
have to be hyper cognizant of, you know?
right.
So
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
So I want to say this because I've talked to my dad about it. My dad's Caucasian, decorated police officer, retired now. But I mean, even he told me, he's like, Richard, they're looking at you all the time. And when you mess up that time, they will keep bringing it up.
That's all they're gonna
every
remember.
that's all they're going to remember. They're
Yeah.
not going to remember all the amazing work you did.
But
They're going to remember that one thing. And I think it's sad. And I think it speaks to our society on what's going on right now. And it really, and one more thing. I know it's because of the 2 years in the pandemic. People have lost their damn minds. They don't know how to treat each other. I've gone to a restaurant. I will not say which one because I love y'all. You know who it is. But went out and it was me and a couple of friends and there one of my friends was just like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. Can you give us 5 minutes? She's like, sure. Why don't you deal with that and look? You should have been looking. And then walked off. And like all my friends looked at me because, I'm the event planner. They're like, are you gonna go say something? Are you gonna go say something? I'm like, okay. First off, this is brunch. Secondly, give me a second. Give me a second, because I'll talk to people, but I'm not going to yell at her and be horrible and mean. I'm like, you don't do even in event planning. You're working. You're dealing with vendors. You're dealing with a hotel. You don't go scream at somebody and just go. I mean, I've seen people have like an empty glass of ice and they were shaking it like in front of somebody who's trying to put down meals. And most of the people who work in hotels who put down meals and clean up and set everything, they're Latino.
yeah.
Mixed in with a couple of, black people up in there. And I don't know. I really think people need to get back to you're not on the computer screen, you're not on your phone. You have to treat people with respect.
Yeah.
If you can't say it to their face, you shouldn't say it online. That's my thing. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go.
No,
Go.
But
I think that's a great.
I feel like now people think they can say it online, so they're gonna say it to your face.
Trump.
And I mean, it's so bad that
Yeah.
obviously Matt's my fiance or whatever. Sometimes when we're an interracial couple, sometimes we go to the stores and people give us dirty looks just walking together because he's not supposed to be with a Latina. It's wild. It's wild. It's wild.
Here, they do that
Yes.
because I know they
Yes.
did it in Austin. Even Austin, as liberal as it is, people would like, look. I remember one thing, and I'm going to shut up. We went to Dallas. We checked into a hotel, and my ex-husband is like, "You did everything. Go and do it. My card's just down." So I went up there. They're like, "Well, you're not Mister So and So." I'm like, "No, but he's my husband, and we're here, and I booked everything." Well, we need to talk to him, and I'm like, "What is this about?" And they're just like, trying to cover it up. And I was just like, and thank God my ex went up there and I told him, before he went up there. And I was just like, what the F is like going on? And he goes, I'm going to go up there and tell them they need to shut up and everything is with you. You're an event planner. This is what you do for a living. Listen to him. And after he said that, then they started treating me better.
Yeah.
It still happens today. It makes me sick. I'm sorry.
So upsetting.
I'm done.
And this is the part that understands why Will Smith did what he did.
Well,
just saying.
See?
Right.
See?
Just saying.
Right.
Yeah. And I think a big part of that is that you guys have learned that idea of like respect. We have to respect everybody, and when even in its hardest moments, we have to respect them. And as a side note, Richard, I think when we start our merchandising that we are going to do for this podcast, I'm going to make a shirt. It says, first of all, it's brunch. So that's That's my new.
Brunch with brunch.
First of all, it's brunch. I think that's my new comeback for everything. First of all, it's brunch.
Oh my god. Do it only on Saturday and Sunday. If someone comes up to you, you're just like, okay, first of all, it's brunch.
First of all,
All right.
it's brunch.
Even if you're not going to brunch, you're like, first of all, it's brunch.
First,
I'm out
yeah,
of here.
yeah. It'll be 2 a.m. and I'll be at a 7-Eleven and somebody's giving me shit, and I'll be like, first of all, it's brunch. That's how I'm
So-
coming out.
I gotta interrupt you guys really quick.
Come on, do it.
I know what happened with Will Smith was obviously the biggest thing that happened that night, but I really want to talk about the beginning of the night when Ariana DeBose won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, I believe it was.
Yep.
You know, again, she's a Latina woman. She's queer. I mean, I love it. I love her. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was iconic because the only other person to win that was Rita Moreno for the same role of Anita.
Oh,
And
my story. Yes.
yes, West Side Story. And you
Yes.
know,
Oh.
Ariana, I believe she's Dominican, which is, hey, I'm Puerto Rican, what's up, girlfriend?
Right.
You know, I that was such a great opening to the night, and her speech about oof, made me cry. Getting a little emotional now too when she was just like, you know, if you've ever been in those gray spaces where you didn't fully belong, you know, there's still hope. And for me personally, I've always felt I was in a gray space. You know, I was, you know, never white enough for the white kids, and I was never ethnic enough for the ethnic kids. So I was kind of always in this weird gray space. And her speech, yo, representation matters. That's all I gotta say. It was just awesome. It was awesome.
It does. Yeah. Anyway,
and her outfit was fire. Just saying.
Oh, she was
fire.
That.
Fire engine red.
That.
That's what that was.
Walk. Show me.
Yes.
Walk. I mean, it was a great night for a lot of things. I mean, we had a Best Supporting Actor, a deaf actor, win for Best Supporting. Coda wins Best Picture. You know, and so yeah, absolutely. And
that's how you
I mean,
clap.
so many great things about the night, and it's kind of unfortunate that the Will Smith event will end up kind of being the one thing that's most remembered on a night that actually had a lot of great things that happened during it.
Another woman director won.
And yes, Jane Campion won for Best Director for Power of the Dog. So congratulations to Jane Campion on that one. We had Billie Eilish win for Best Song for the new James Bond theme.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool to see her win. I mean, she's so young, has so many Grammys under. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really wanted Lin-Manuel Miranda to get his EGOT. He really needs that Oscar, but I mean, he's got such a career. I mean, he was so represented. Encanto obviously won for Best Animated Picture that night. He had his film Tick Tick Boom had a few nominations, so he was well represented there in regards. Part of me wishes that In the Heights had garnered a little more attention. I was a big fan of that movie. Weirdly enough, saw that one, but didn't see most of the Oscar-nominated movies. So I wish that had garnered a little more attention, but it didn't get it there. It was a great night, though. I actually thought this was a pretty good Oscars. Viewership was way up over the lows from last year, so that was great to see. Makes you wonder how many people tuned in once Twitter exploded with all of the to bump those numbers, you know.
Exactly.
But it was kind of great to see that there was a lot of good stuff that happened during the Oscars too, and I think we can't let the discussion be too fragmented against all of those great things that we did. So thank you, Steph, for bringing that up in regards to that. I think that was a great kind of choice in bringing that up because I think that's super, super important. So any kind of last thoughts about the Oscars?
It just kind of reminded me of when Moonlight won that year at the Oscars. And it hits me in both places. I am a black man I am gay, trying to come out, trying to figure out who you are. It's not an easy process, especially if you're Southern Baptist. I'm just saying. So, and I love God. I'm spiritual, and we're gonna leave it there. But anyway, but it kind of reminded me a little bit, like people winning things, and it's just you're like, yes, thank you for the representation. Thank you
Yeah.
for actually watching it, looking at it, and feeling it. So anyway, that's all I have to say.
Well, and hopefully these wins for these movies and stuff get that. You always have an Oscar bump afterwards, and I know like Coda's available, I think on Apple Plus TV. But hopefully like those movies get a little bit more people to watch it and understand those perspectives and things like that. Which is why like I have a lot of friends that are like, I don't care about the Oscars. I'm never going to watch the Oscars, and I get it. I work in an area of the film world that's very focused on not Oscar movies, right? It's a
Yeah,
genre films, it's those low budget films. And don't get me wrong, like I get it, like the Oscars again, I only saw 3 out of the 10, but it's still important to have that platform to have that representation and to have
right.
those films that do push the boundaries a little bit and show us a world that maybe we don't necessarily recognize ourselves.
I agree.
And so I think that's really important. And I'm sorry to say we're already down to 4 minutes, guys, in this podcast.
No,
Where's the time
We destroyed it. Thanks, Oscars.
go?
right. Thanks. You destroyed everything.
That's how we go. So I know
Hashtag it was Oscars.
I know originally one of our main topics was going to be 3 movies we want to defend. I guess we're going to push that again to next week as we go
No.
forward. Is there anything that you guys
Okay.
want to? I mean, all of our musings tonight have been very much focused on the Oscars, and I think it's a good discussion to have about representation and about what these things
Yeah.
kind of affect. I think that's really important to have. So I don't negate that we're already running out of time. I think that's fantastic. But is there any last thoughts that you guys want to do before we wrap up this discussion? I mean, what are you guys looking forward to? Anything coming up that you guys are looking forward to? I mean, obviously
This
Moon Knight for
Wednesday.
Richard. He's been doing research for like 30 years now at this point. So
Yeah. Yeah, we'll leave it at 30.
we'll leave it
Thank
at
you.
yeah, we'll leave it at 30.
I'm
We're
kind of
like this.
excited for Moon Knight 2 for the mere fact that I think it's going to bring to light, schizophrenia, which is also something
Yeah.
that was brought to light
Mental.
in Yellow Jackets as well.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
as a person that deals with, people of, I don't know if schizophrenia is considered neurodiverse, but I do deal with a population of people that have these ailments or whatever, deaf people or whatever, and all of that. And again, representation matters. And I know
This.
I've known dealing with people with schizophrenia, they feel helpless. If your brain's not functioning right, they feel like nothing will ever function right. And hopefully this will, go to show people that there's life. There's still life to be had and to be lived. So I
Yeah.
am very excited and curious on how they are going to showcase that aspect of Moon Knight.
Yeah. It'll always be a little bit controversial when you do it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Especially because my understanding is Moon Knight is kind of an anti-hero.
He
And
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure we'll hear a lot about it Wednesday when this premieres. I know for
Oh,
myself, I'm super excited that I haven't had a chance to see it yet. It's already out, but looking forward to hopefully seeing it this coming weekend is Everything Everywhere All at Once
Oh my God,
with
I love
Michelle
Michelle
Yeoh,
Yeoh. Oh,
oh
Michelle,
wow.
I love you.
directed
Oh
by the
my god.
Daniels.
I
That's the
cannot
one
wait.
where she's like different
Yes.
versions of her. Oh my
Yes.
god. I so want to see
Yes.
that.
I'm so excited for that. Time
Oh,
travel,
Strong.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm
strong.
all about that. I do want to say one thing, and I love Oscar Isaac. I love him and Pedro Pascal. They're friends. getting them together on TV is like being in a bar. It's like go
Pedro
get your
Pascal's
drink.
in Moon Knight.
No, he's not.
Oh,
Yeah, he's the Mandalorian, but
I was
okay,
gonna say.
I've seen them together
okay.
and them having fun, and it's just like, oh my god, give me a shot. This is awesome. You
Well,
know, but I just wanted to say, Oscar Isaac, I love him for the reason he is being so sensitive with people with mental, issues, and he goes, no, I don't want to do like a certain portrayal. I want to give these people respect. And people have to understand that not everybody has the same tools in their wheelhouse, and just put it out there and just show people on a Marvel show of all
Yes.
things. Of all
Love it.
things.
yeah.
But that's why I read comic books.
I'm just saying,
Representation.
mi gente represent. Woo woo.
Represent. I'm just saying.
And I think on that note, let's wrap this up, guys. Thank you so much for joining me once again, Steph and Richard, and sharing your musings, as idle as they may not be, in terms of this week, as we kind of go forward. Thank you for everyone for tuning in, whether you're watching. Wow. Whether you're watching here on Facebook or Twitter, or you're listening to our podcast. Thank you for all of the wonderful people over at Ear Glue Media who have been so
We
supportive
love
of us.
them.
Thank you, Ear Glue
Yes.
Media. Thank you so much
Woo
We
to
woo
love
With
y'all.
Fossum.
woo.
With Fossum Studios. Thank you to all of our supporters and backers that have made this possible. And of course, thank you to everyone that works so hard to bring so many nerdy things to us day in and day out for us to chat about. And with that, guys, we bid you a good night as we set this nerd mind to idle. So have a great night, guys. We will see you next week as we bring some more idle musings of the nerd mind.
See ya.